Okay, before we added integers, now we're going to practice subtracting it. So let's say that you had 8 negatives. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And you want to take away 3 of them. Okay? So if you take away 3 negatives, how many are you end up with? Well, you end up with 5 of these, and there's 5 negatives, so that's -5. Another way you can think of subtracting integers is adding, change it to addition, change the problem to addition, and then make the number opposite. So I'm going to write -8 minus a -3, which is what I have up here. And I'm going to change it to an addition problem, and I'm going to make this opposite. So now what you have is 8 negatives, so you're on -8 on the number line, and you're adding 3, so you're going to the right 3. 1 to the right is -7, another to the right is -6, one more to the right is -5. So that's why the answer is -5. Let's practice adding the opposite here. So I have a minus, so I'm going to write 32, and I'm going to change negative to positive. I'm making an addition problem, and then I'm going to take the opposite of -3. The opposite of -3 is 3. So now I have 32 plus 3, which is 35. Or if you think about it in the number line, you're at 32, and you're going to subtract, but then you're going to subtract a negative, which means go up. So you go up 3 to 35. Okay, problem B is you're at -40. You're going to change this problem to an addition, but then you're going to make positive 66 and -66. So you're turning -40 minus 66 to -40 plus a -66. When you add 2 negatives, you get a negative. So -40 plus -66 is -106. Letter C, 2 minus 48 is change it to 2 plus, but make 48 negative. So 2 plus a -48. There's more negatives than positives, so the answer is going to be negative. There's going to be 46 negatives. So the answer is -46. Letter D, the temperature in Browning, Montana dropped 100 degrees overnight. Dropped. That means go down. The initial temperature was 44. So it's 44 degrees and it drops 100 degrees. Or you could also write it as -100 degrees plus 44. So if I have 44 minus 100, it's the same thing as 44 plus an opposite of 100 is -100. So the answer is -56 degrees. Okay, now we're going to practice a few more. So I have -7 minus a -2. Change this to a positive and make the opposite of -2. So now it's -7 plus 2. So there's more negatives than positives. So I do 7 minus 2 is 5 and take the opposite. So it's -5. Letter B. It's 4 take away 8. So change a negative to a positive. And 8 is positive, so it's going to be -8. The answer is going to be negative because there's more negatives than positives. And now I do 8 minus 4, which is 4, and take the opposite of it. So it's -4. And the third one, -1 minus 5 is -1. Change this to a positive and change 5 to a negative. 2 negatives added together is a negative, so the answer is negative. Okay, here's some more examples. So if I have 5 plus negative 2, there's more positives than negatives right here. So my answer is going to be positive. 5 plus negative 2 is positive 3. This is a subtraction problem, so I add the opposite. 6 plus 3 is 9. This one's a subtraction problem, so I add, take the opposite of 10 is negative 10. Negative 5 plus negative 10 is negative 15. The next one is a subtraction problem, so I add the opposite. So this turns into 5 plus negative 10. There's more negatives than positives, so the answer is negative 5. Next problem, I add the opposite. So this turns into negative 5 plus 10. There's more positives than negatives, so this answer is positive 5. Next one, they're both negative, so when I add and they're both negatives, the answer is negative 15. 13 take away 2 is 11. 13 take away 20 is 13 plus a negative 20. There are more negatives than positives, so the answer is negative 7.